All right, here now is Gregg Nunziata. He is former chief nominations counsel to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Thank you so much for joining us. Greg, I mean, the problem is that all of these politicians on both sides, and I'm saying everyone out there, have zero credibility, I think, with regular people at this point. And if it was really about what he just said, a limited scope in time to the current allegations, that would be one thing, but it's hard to actually believe that when everybody keeps changing what they're saying, from Jeff Flake, who said yes and then later no, to what everybody else has asked for. What is your take? Do you think they're being truthful?
Well, that's the concern, and that's why so many Republicans were opposing reopening the FBI investigation process, in part because it doesn't add much other than more delay. What the FBI will do is take statements from everyone who's already given a statement to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Some Democrats have suggested that's necessary, that they want nonpartisan FBI agents asking questions, but I've not heard from a Democrat who said they will be persuaded by this coming back without anything incriminating. So, of course, that's a concern. You know, when you're on Capitol Hill as a senator, and if you oppose a nomination, if you can't defeat it outright, the next best thing to do is delay it as much as possible and hope something changes, either in the Senate or outside of the Senate, that will strengthen your hand.
So they keep saying all you have to do is have the FBI go out and talk to these 4 people and ask them who were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Does anyone believe that that would be enough? How long would that take? And do you think that or whoever, the FBI agents, could come back and say, that's it, we've done enough, here you go, we've talked to these 4 people? Is that reasonably enough?
Well, I think it's reasonable that they can do that, and I think you can do it pretty quickly. It should only take a few days. There's a limited number of people involved. All of these people have already given statements under penalty of felony to the Senate, so we can expect they'll say the same thing they told the Senate. Otherwise, they'd be exposing themselves to 5 years in prison. But yeah, no, I think it can be done. I'm skeptical that it'll change many minds, but if it gives Senator Flake, Senator Collins, Senator Manchin, and the 3 or 4 folks who have said they haven't made up their minds comfort in making a decision, then maybe it's time worth taking.
So maybe that's what it comes down to, those 4 people. Can you get those 4 people to say yes? You know, because there were other people that stood up, like Cory Booker or Kamala Harris, you know, within seconds of them all coming out and saying together, we are going to go ahead and do this FBI investigation. Kumbaya, it's a bipartisan moment. Within seconds, I saw a tweet from Kamala Harris that said, we must stop Judge Kavanaugh now. Sign this petition in Twitter to stop him. And this is after, you know, they had stood there and said, thank goodness, you know, we're going to have this investigation. They're instantly tweeting, sign here, anybody who sees this, to stop them. But for those 4 that you talked about, so the concern is Jeff Flake committed to yes, he left the room. Everybody said, oh, it'll be fine when he comes back. Then you didn't see him. Then they're all in that cloakroom. You know, for those that you're talking about, how do you feel about whether this will be enough to help them? Does it give them cover? What's your take?
Yeah, no, I think it may. I think I can't see in any of their minds, and the 4 who've been undecided have been very close-lipped about it. But my guess is, based on the evidence before us now, that most of them, if not all of them, were leaning to yes. So, you know, I think giving this a little more process might get them there, assuming nothing else changes in the next few days. There's been a lot of twists and turns.
I'm glad you brought that up. Nothing else changes, because earlier, this is what Lindsey Graham said was what was really going on here. Can you guys play that soundbite for us?
The Avenatti moment tells you what's going to happen if we keep this farce going. Plenty of time, plenty of opportunities to get to the truth. This has never been about the truth. This has been about delay and destruction.
Great, delay and destruction. I mean, him coming in with Avenatti is like showing up at a bake-off with a box of Dunkin' Donuts and saying you made them yourself. You like got the label around the edge says that you're a liar. You show up with Avenatti. I mean, there's just the pile-on. You know, do you think this opens the door to that, obviously, over the next couple of days, and how do they deal with that?
Sure, it does, and we've, the Avenatti allegations were explosive, and there was just about no substance to them. The New York Times said so, and we had a bunch of less well-covered allegations that came and went over the last 48 hours, and I think we can expect more of it. I mean, look, there's a lot of people in this country, and a lot of the Democratic Party are simply committed to opposing any nominee that President Trump might put forward for the seat. They're opposed to the Supreme Court possibly going in a more conservative direction.
Right.
And they've made clear they're going to fight as hard as they can with whatever they've got. So I expect we'll see some more of that. I think Jeff Flake and the leadership of the Senate will just need to be firm on that this is what they agreed to. One more delay.
Yeah.
And no more.
That strikes terror in my heart because they're never firm. Real quick, at what point do they run out the clock? How much time do we have? They keep saying we don't have so much time. By what day do you think they need to take the vote to get through and have this not have the Democrats not run out the clock?
Well, I mean, I think this is painful regardless, and any extension is painful for the country, painful for all the people involved. I think at the very least we want to get this done before the election, which comes up in November, and typically the Senate takes some time off before the election. So I mean, I think another week is reasonable. Any day after that, I think, is really pushing it.
Starts to get dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Gregg Nunziata, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.